when your dog is saying no, he's not necessarily saying, I don't want to do it. Sometimes,
It's not that dramatic.
yes. Sometimes it's, I don't know how.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I can.
Hi, Roni. How are you?
My God.
Thank you for
Bailey,
having
baile po.
me.
So, funniest part is we already started this conversation, but unfortunately it was cut because of the sirens.
Yeah.
So
Here we go again.
Yes.
Thank you for having me on your white couch.
My full of dogs and cats home with my white couch.
Yeah.
Best decision ever.
Remember?
Yes, it could be worse. This is the motto for the few past days.
Yeah.
So we started to talk about confidence with the dogs. I think it's also about confidence with the human.
Yeah.
Most of the time it comes together.
Yes. We have a few things to say because we share similar values and we have a lot of thoughts about condition of dog training society in last few years, and both of us are in a sport for long enough to see how it grows and develops, and some fashions are better, some fashions are worse. Everyone would decide what is good for them, but basically what we want to talk about today is confidence in dog training and how it creates all the value in dog training and success and failures as well.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people are misjudging the concept of confidence, and they're kind of saying, if my dog is doing it, it means he's confident, instead of really paying attention to what the dog is saying while he's doing something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, at least I can speak for myself, I'm sure you can speak only for you, but at the end of the day, when we are communicating with our dogs, when we're telling them to do some trick or some exercise, or even when we're just taking them out on a walk, our dogs are telling us so many things. And sometimes, just because it's not in our language, we forget that we can actually listen to what they're saying.
Yeah, since many years we've been mastering the way of talking to a dog, communicating to a dog, but we are still missing, in my opinion, of course, the part where we listen to a dog. So
imagine that crazy thing.
We are thinking about how to name this signal, where to put the reward, how to use our voice, how to give the reward, what kind of reward our dog likes, but we are not really asking him questions, I think, often enough, and we don't listen to what he says through his behavior. And I think in general, this should be something that will grow in the future, because this is a huge part of dog training, to actually watch your dog, because like you said, it's not about if my dog did it or not, but how he looks while he does it, how
what
he
feels. Yes.
about doing it, what is his behavior before, how he acts after, how he receives the reward after what he did.
I think, for me, the first lesson in respecting a dog is being able to listen to it. And I told you this
and
before.
Accepting what dogs told us, because sometimes this is a difficult message to receive, isn't
What
it?
do you mean you don't want to do what I want? But I said so.
What do you mean you don't like how I work with you?
Yeah. But I told you before, for me, the first lesson about respecting the dog, listening to a dog, comes even before we start to train it, because I was working in therapy with dogs, assisted dog therapy, for a long time before I did dog sports. And I used to go with Bailey and with my other dogs for therapy classes with kids and different populations. And the first thing that we teach is, does the dog want to be touched? And you can pet the dog for 5 seconds, just 5 seconds. And after 5 seconds, if the dog wants more, he will come back for more. He will tell you, I want more. But if he doesn't, you have to listen to him, to respect what he tells you, and to stop the petting. And I think this, it's before you train the dog, before you tell the dog sit or lie down or roll over or jump or like come into my arms, whatever you're training your dog to do. Before you do that, first you have to show your dog that yes, his opinion matters. And that's the first thing I think that leads to a confident dog, someone who knows that when he tells you something, you actually care.
Yeah, I think it's from human point of view, we also have to have a lot of like understanding for ourselves because it's not a common concept yet. And we have some patterns in our heads. We think that our dogs like to be pet during training. We think that the only fun that we can give them is tagging. And the first question when you reward your dog is, was it a reward or dog was just nice?
Was it your reward?
Yeah. Was it something that you need? Because if dog feels that it rewards him, he wants more. If I tag with my dog and as soon as he wins a toy, he's 10 meters away from me, does he really enjoy tagging or it was just for me? Was he just
Or it
fighting
was,
with me for a toy
yeah.
or actually playing with me?
I wish people would try to think about it more often.
That's why we are here, by the way.
Hi.
But I don't want to give the wrong impression that people make huge mistake because we are all learning.
Yeah.
And the first step is to understand and sometimes just sit and look at your dog.
Yeah.
If I go on a football field, I grab my training bag, I put my bag on the field, I sit next to it. Will my dog come to me and ask me to play? Or he will sniff around and avoid me?
It's a big question. And I think that most people, they have this type of dream. I would like my dog to come to me and push me to play with him and make me want to do some. People, they want the dog to push them for interaction. But how can the dog push you for interaction? How can the dog want that interaction if most of the time he's not being listened to?
Yes, or we don't teach him how he can start the interaction because sometimes dogs don't know how to make you do something or have wrong understanding. Some dogs start to bark.
Yeah.
Some dogs start to run around and like be
Yeah.
crazy. Some dogs are just looking at you from a distance. They are like, I don't know what to do.
This one.
Yeah, it's just about giving your dog tools to say, hey, I'm ready. I want to play. Just let me know when you're ready. And it works both ways. And this is, of course, slower version of starting training, much more valuable for the future and for present time, just to respect the tempo. Sometimes dogs need some time before starting training, and we have to respect it as well.
Yep. So let's talk about it. Confidence. We're talking about the fact that we should listen to dogs and about the fact that dogs have emotions and that we should try to understand what those emotions are. But before anything, Anya, what is your opinion? I know my own, but what is yours? Why is it so important for a dog to have self-confidence?
Why is that so important that
Yeah, like,
humans have
why?
self-confidence? We like to have control. Thank you, Bailey. We like
You're
to have
welcome.
control in every aspect of our life. And sometimes, if we can't influence something, we don't have power to influence something, we feel that we can't do something or we are not sure while doing that. And the same comes with dogs. Dog who is confident will solve problems by himself. Dog who is confident will not doubt himself in some action, will look beautiful in movement, will enjoy training because he feels that he can influence the training. He is part of the training. And this is something that we really can't see a lot. There is a balance between being obedient and being in every sport, in sheep herding. Huge question mark. If dog is over there, can he decide better or my command is more important? If I run agility and I make a mistake, what dog should do? Listen to my body or my command? What is more important for a dog. And somehow, confident dog will always make a good decision, because if we teach them to solve problems, we teach them why we do something, his self-confidence will grow. And if we have confident dog, we can feel confident as well.
I agree. I think it's also really important to remember about different types of confidence, because there is self-confidence, there is environmental confidence, there is confidence with my handler, and of course, the dog should be developing his confidence in each one of those fields of life, because a dog who is self-confident, for example, in training, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's self-confidence in life, although they can affect each other. But the more confidence we manage to help our dog grow within himself, the better life he's going to lead. Because also he will know how to avoid conflicts that he doesn't need to be part of in life, how to lead his life without going into situations that he doesn't know how to get out of them afterwards, because he really understands how to lead himself in his life. He doesn't need you to go right, turn left, go, like
Yeah.
we don't need to work as a navigation system for our dog once we teach him how to drive. You know, and I think this is probably one important thing to understand, that when we are training a dog, it's not just about training him to be good in the sport that he will do, or in, you know, or as a couch potato. It's about training him to live with confidence
and to be an animal which can decide about himself.
and we don't need to be all the time
But
like
it's also
scared about what will happen
but
with
it
our
also
dog.
means that if my dog says no, I respect that.
Yeah, but also you can try to understand why.
Of course.
And this is, I think, the game changer. Instead of saying the world is black and white, my dog said no, so I have to say okay, so no, I can also say why he is saying no, and then I can try to adjust myself, try to see what...
Or I can force him to do it.
No, it's a different living room, come on.
No, but I know exactly what you want to say. I'm not saying that we just stop training and we go
Yes.
home. When my dog says no, it means that something went wrong in the process of learning, or in the process of doing this sequence or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's time to see, if you can't do this, can you do an easier version of it? Or is there something like, tell me what was
Can you do
wrong?
it from a smaller distance? Can you do it when you're starting out slower? Okay. Like, you can check what are the boundaries. I have a story from Rhythm. Rhythm is probably the most silent dog in the world when he works. He doesn't bark. He's like
no sound.
nothing. And when he was about, I think it was like 1 or 1.5, I don't remember exactly his age. I was trying to make some big circle with him and go from that big circle into a backwards weave, a slalom. And that was the first time he barked at me. And I was, what? He can bark?
Yeah.
And I looked at him and I told him, okay, but can you explain? Please elaborate.
Yeah,
You know?
Continue.
And he looked at me and he was like, I can't do it. And I said, this is very weird, because he can do the big circle and he can do the backwards with slalom. So I was trying to see, okay, can he do the backwards with, and again and again. And I was like, but I never showed him how to do it from a big distance. Maybe he doesn't know how to enter the backwards with slalom from the distance. And I started to build it up, you know, from smaller to bigger distance. And suddenly he was like, yeah, of course I can do it. Problem solved. You know, it's sometimes just about trying to see that small thing, because when your dog is saying no, he's not necessarily saying, I don't want to do it.
It's not that dramatic.
Yes. Sometimes it's, I don't know how.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I can. And I like to remind myself and my students and people everywhere, the dog wants to get rewarded. That if we're talking about treats, for example, the dog wants that treat more than what I want to give it to him. If he can do it, he will do it. And if he doesn't do it, Let's understand why.
And dogs are not tricky. Dogs are not plotting. Dogs are not bitches.
They don't do it on purpose.
No, they communicate. On flyball, it's very common like mistake if dog goes out of the line and runs on the side of the course, like the race is basically lost at this point. So dogs who always stay in the line and suddenly they move out, it's 99.9% possible that something is off. Dog is injured, or he got stressed, or there is some problem with the box. There is always a reason for that, because
Something is wrong.
something is wrong, and
Yeah.
we should think about it the same way. But to think about it, you have to be confident as a dog trainer that you did everything right, because how can you diagnose this problem if every time you do something in a different way, if you are not sure how to modify the structure of training? So I think this is the circle of self-confidence. So once I am not confident, once dog is not confident. Yeah. And I think this is the biggest issue, because you see these amazing dogs who like has such a potential, but it will not mean anything if owner is not confident. So from dog trainer point of view, and I repeat it a lot on my trainings, like most of the time I am a human coach actually.
Yes.
So I give human tools how to work at home, because 99% of the time you are your dog trainer.
Yes.
I will be there once a week or
twice, if you're coming every.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can't be with you all the time, and one day you will be like working by yourself because you have all the tools. I am a trainer who gives tools.
Yes.
So I want them to be alone, like someday. I want them to be independent, but to be independent, you have to teach them how to work, what means what, how to solve this puzzle, how to look at dog training. And that's why working with dogs is so difficult, because it's not a mathematic. Yeah. And it's like mental game, like with horses. You can have the best day ever, but dog can have a bad day. Dog can be amazing, but without a self-confident player, he will not succeed.
Yeah.
It can go both ways. Sometimes players are just shy, not confident. They don't know how to throw. They know their skills are not good. So dog see, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing. I will wait.
Something is wrong.
But sometimes self-confidence is very like subtle. Someone can look very self-confident, but his lack of confidence will be visible in his actions. So if he gets mad at his dog, if he gets mad at dog for his mistakes. So for me, it's a huge psychological aspect in dog training.
I think also confidence shows when you are willing to say, maybe I can be better. Maybe it's not about my dog being better. Maybe it's about, maybe I am wrong.
Maybe I am wrong. This is the quote.
Ooh.
Ay, ay, ay.
And for me, the moments that I'm willing to admit I was wrong, these are the moments I grow from. These are the moments that I'm saying, okay, if I did everything right and this is the situation, I have no way of dealing with it. But if I did something wrong and this is the situation, it means I can fix it. It means things can improve. Because if you're doing everything right and things are shitty, let's say, what are you going to do?
It's like if you repeat everything over and over and you expect different results, it means you are an idiot.
Yeah, but this is the point. And a lot of times, people are not willing to admit they were wrong in what they were doing.
Or they don't understand how complex situation is, because sometimes it can work at home, but it will not work in a park. Why I do everything the same?
Yeah.
Sometimes the difference might be different rewards, like different treats, or different discs, or like full sun or windy weather.
Yeah.
This will change completely the game.
And sometimes it's just about your attitude.
Of course, or you
Not
had a
taking
bad
for
day.
granted
Yeah, or you
that
just
your
had
dog should do something.
Yes, or you are in a hurry and you have very limited time for training, and you will behave in a different way. Tell me,
Yeah.
how often do you hear on seminars someone is showing you a problem, and on seminar it works
Of course.
all the time?
Suddenly he can do it.
Tell me why it happens.
My guess, the handler is, first of all, so cautious. And he's like not coming out of the assumption something will work. So he's not taking it for granted that something will happen. And then he's literally trying to communicate to the dog. But you can also see it on the other way around, that you are not going to be able to do it in the mind of the handler. And as soon as he's doing it, asking it, the dog is like, I am not able to do it. But I think it's about also believing in your dog, in some way. Because when you are coming out of the assumption, my dog can do it, but he didn't do it with me, or my dog can't do it, you're giving your dog two different point of views. And I know that when I look at my dogs, I try to make them feel like, even if you're not able to do it right now, I believe that you can.
I have one more answer to this question, which is not that nice, but it happens. And I want to say it loud because I want people to know that we see that. Sometimes it works on a seminar because you just treat your dog better on the seminar, because you are afraid to be judged by people. You want to look good in front of the trainer. I'm not saying that you are abusing your dog, but if you try so hard to look good in front of people, you will be better in rewarding. You will be more like caring for a dog in front of people. And dog is not stupid. Dog will show you exactly that something is different, even in a good way. That's why on a seminar, most of the time, dogs are doing things better, because you feel judged from the side.
It could be, yes. I understand what you mean. For me, one of the things that is my biggest emphasis is I work with my dogs the same way. I work with them with audience or without audience, because I don't want my dog to ever think that an audience is a game
Makes
changer.
something different.
Yeah. It shouldn't change the equation.
Also, with my students, I sometimes organize a group trainings so they can practice in front of someone, because everyone knows that it's way more difficult to do something in front of people. So dog will feel that you are stressed, that your self-confidence lowers.
Yeah.
And that's what happens on a competition. Competition is a mind game. We play chess with judges, with audience, with ourselves. We create a perfect plan of how to do something, when to warm up, what do I need to take on the field, how to create a warm up which will put my dog in a good mental state. Why do we not care about our mental state?
I don't know how it is in dog frisbee, but in dog dance, I have a routine for my mental state before I go into the ring.
Same.
Because I cannot expect my dog to feel confident in a situation where I don't. And I cannot expect my dog to
Amen.
perform well when he's not feeling confident. And I cannot expect myself to feel good about what's going on if my dog is not performing well. And if all of it starts from me being able to perform, so I'll just perform. And of course, it's easier said than done, almost everything in life. But for me, it's about a moment before I go into the ring or into the stage, depending on if it's a show or a competition. I close my eyes. I take a deep breath. I visualize what I want to happen on that ring or on that stage. I open my eyes. I look at my dog. I tell him, thank you for being here with me. I'm sorry for the mistakes that I will do in the ring or on that stage. I hope you will forgive me. I love you. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea for next podcast. Because I also
Sorry, I
have
love you.
I have a lot of I have a lot of thoughts about it too. And I used to also tell my dogs, I will do my best, please do your best too. We don't have influence. There is a chance we will stop in a moment.
Yes,
so
but
it's fine.
I think we will not finish now about confidence, but we can finish with some sentence. I think we can each say some big sentence about confidence. And we have left for next time, because we will have next time for
Yes,
sure.
for sure. Like, we like to talk with each other too
Yeah.
much to not have next time.
So, confidence.
I would say that if you are not confident, don't expect your dog to be confident.
I will say that when a dog comes out of the understanding that he can do something and that he is seen, he would like to do it. And that's all we can ask for a dog who wants to collaborate with us.
Yeah. Also, I think people treat confidence like it's 0, 1, nothing else.
Yeah.
But confidence can be taught and can be trained and can be tested.
And it's based on skills that we give to our dog.
Of course.
And the more skills we will give our dog to handle daily scenarios, the better options he will have in his life to actually, feel confident about what's going on, deal with life.
Yeah. It's very complex topic. I feel that every time we add something new, we want like, let's talk about it. No, we have no time. Let's talk about it. No, we have no time.
But we have time now.
We have time now. And in general, this is one of our favorite topics to talk. Especially lately. But I see a lot of like soft dogs who are training, and people hear this dog will never be a sport dog. Or we have a lot of good dogs who suddenly through years lose their self-confidence. And it's visible from a very, very basic level. So body language, or the way they handle mistakes on the field, or the way they handle emotions of human on the field, or the way they handle conditions on the field. And remember, it's everything works in quite same way. So if I teach my dog to catch frisbee, for example, I would start with catching from my hand, because this is the easiest task possible. Or I can start with some soft toy, for example, then frisbee will rotate a little bit. Then maybe I will throw it. Maybe I will throw it farther. Maybe later I will throw it in the wind. Or I will make some shitty throws. So
there is a scale.
Yes, there is a scale with everything you do, even in your life. Like you go to school, you experience some kind of stress, but compared to adulthood, being in a school is not stressful at all. But that moment, it was tragedy.
Yeah.
You were afraid to speak in front of your class.
You are all alone.
Later, you learn how to speak in front of the school.
Yeah.
Later, you learn how to speak like on the examination in high school or in a university. And suddenly, this stress is not that high anymore because you adapted to it. You learned how to handle your emotions. That's why people who used to do something in a childhood, like they were dancers, they were training sport, they were acting, they are able to perform better because they've been through this journey.
It's a resilience that is being built through life.
We know how to handle emotions, handle stress. We know how it feels to fail.
Yeah.
If someone had no chance to learn how to deal with failure and learn how to deal with high stress. You can't expect yourself to perform in a good way because you are on the beginning of this like journey. And like for me, this is very difficult to see people who put such a huge pressure on themselves to have their premiere perfect. Like they enter the field for the first time, they have very difficult like freestyle.
But those are people who went to ballet classes.
And we'll be back after the break.